When you work extensively with text, whether you're in a document in Microsoft Word or you're working on a presentation here in PowerPoint 2007, anything can go wrong, right? You could hit the wrong key on the keyboard without even knowing it. You could misspell a word that you thought was correct, but it wasn't. Well, it's good to know that you've got some proofing tools here in PowerPoint, including a spell checker, and that's where we're going to start with our proofing options. Of course, we're going to need to open up a presentation first, so we'll go up to the Office button. Give it a click, then click Open. And we'll need to navigate to the Lesson 6 folder of your exercise files, because that's where you're going to find ECP ePerformance 6a. Give that one a click before you click the Open button. Alright, so here's the presentation. Looks like it's made up of 8 slides. I see that down here. And on this first slide, it looks like everything's okay. We've got a title slide. But if we go to slide 2, check it out. It looks like we've got a couple of words here on this slide that have red squiggly underlines. And that's how we recognize spelling mistakes or potential spelling mistakes in a presentation. These are words that are not recognized in the dictionary. Now I say that because proper names and acronyms, for example, might not be recognized in the Microsoft Office dictionary. So the nice thing is that we can add words to the dictionary, but if they are misspelled, we can also fix them. So we're going to fix them a couple of different ways. Let's start with the word objectives right here. Because it's got the red squiggly underline, we can right-click it, which automatically gives us some options here to replace the incorrectly spelled word with whatever we select here. And I've got 2 options, objectives or objectives with an apostrophe. This is the one I really want, objectives, so I'm going to give it a click. And it's fixed, just like that. I've got another one here on this slide, and I could continue through every slide in my presentation doing this if I wanted to, but there is a faster way. So let's go down here and right-click on Advantage. It's spelled incorrectly. It's got 2 D's when it shouldn't. Here are some replacement options. But you can see there's also some other options down below. Ignore all, which will ignore every occurrence of this word advantage spelled incorrectly in this presentation. Or I could add it to the dictionary, which I definitely don't want to do because it is spelled incorrectly. If I was to add this to the dictionary, it would never stop there again. And that goes for all of the Microsoft Office applications in the suite. So what we really want to do is fix it, and we can check the spelling of our entire presentation all at once by clicking Spelling down here, or let's just click outside and click on the slide anywhere to close up that pop-up menu. We can also go to the Review tab up here. So up on the ribbon, click the Review tab, and there's spelling there as well. So we can launch it from here or from that pop-up menu. Notice also that F7 on the keyboard will launch the spell checker too. Alright, so let's just give it a click here, and right away the spelling dialog opens up. I'm going to move it up here. It stopped at the first word not recognized in the dictionary, and that's the word advantage with 2 D's, and you can see it's selected down here in my slide. So my options now, I've got a few more in the spelling dialog, are ignore, to ignore it once, or ignore all, like we saw earlier, to ignore every occurrence of this misspelled advantage. We can change it, which will change it to the selection here from our list of suggestions. And the one that's highlighted is the one we want. And if I've misspelled this throughout my presentation, clicking Change All will change them all with whatever I select here from my list of suggestions. Adding will add this word to the dictionary. Don't want to do that. And if I don't get suggestions for a word, I can click the Suggest button to see them over here in the Suggestions field. Autocorrect is something we're going to look at in a couple of lessons, so we'll leave that for later. And I've also got options that we're going to look at a little bit later here as well. Of course, close is what I'm going to do when I'm done with the spell checker. So for now, let's just go through our presentation fixing errors along the way. So advantage is misspelled. There's the change to option that I want. So I click the change button. It changes it, moves on to the next word, which happens to be over here on slide 3. We can see the word alignment. There's only one suggestion. It's selected or highlighted, and that's the one I want, so I'll click change. Same thing goes for this word here, assess. Should be this with 2 S's. So I'll change it. Then we get down to, look at this. This is a little bit different. My dialog has changed. I don't have the word not in dictionary option here. It's a repeated word, and it's the word with. So down below, if I look, managers conduct performance discussions with with. Okay, I've typed it in twice by accident. So PowerPoint's smart enough to recognize that and give me some options, which is to ignore it or delete the second word, the repeated word. And I do want to do that. So I click delete. It doesn't find any other words in my presentation that are misspelled, so I click OK. And I may have some editing here. You can see because I removed a word, my alignment's off a little bit. I'll click in front of the word employees and hit the tab key. Alright, let's click outside our selected area to deselect. And of course we'd want to save our changes now. We'd save this presentation with all of our corrections. So what are you thinking? You don't need to proofread anymore? Not exactly true. Of course, the spell checker is not going to find certain words if they're spelled correctly, but they're just the wrong word, for example. So you still want to proofread your presentations before you present them or print them out and hand them out to your participants. Alright, so that covers checking our spelling. Next, we're going to look at the thesaurus where we can find synonyms.